And now, the moment you've all been waiting for! Welcome back, everybody, to another amazing session, or what is soon to be an amazing session, of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I swear to God, I almost said Dragon Deep Water Heist, because that's just... I can't escape it. That is my curse.
Dragon Deep Waterhurst.
Dragon Deep Waterhurst. So, welcome, everybody, to this week's episode, this week's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful session for Water. Damn it, I was going to say Water Heist. Why does this happen? Anyways, welcome. Before we begin, I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who has been showing their support by listening to the audio cast and by watching us on YouTube and by watching us on Twitch and stuff. That's awesome. And as thanks, we are currently holding a giveaway which ends next Monday. So if you want to win either a Dragon Deep Water Heist book of your own, as well as the dice set, which I have been using since I got them because they roll really well. I like the texture on them. Or if you want to win a collector's edition of Xanathar's Guide to Everything, as well as a little mimic dice pouch, this guy right here, then follow the link that I am going to be posting into the chat right now. And then if you follow those steps, you can enter for a chance to win, which will be super cool. Because I always realize I talk about the contest details at the end of the podcast, but most of our viewers are on the East Coast and have to go to sleep at some point. So I figured I will throw it out now, so that way you guys can all get a good idea of that.
They go to sleep like responsible adults.
Who does that? Not me, because I am on the West Coast, because time zones are a riot. So, that is the link to our giveaway, so that is the last plug that I am going to give for that until the end of the episode. So, thank you all for dealing with that. But again, it's only until next Monday. And then on this show next week, I'll announce the winners. How about them apples? We'll announce them at the very beginning, so make sure that you tune in and enjoy it. But you didn't come here just for giveaway rules. You came here so that way you could listen in on this amazing, amazing game that we have thrown together for you. So, last week on, I was going to say it again, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We had quite a few interpersonal moments, with Hubris finally being able to make it up to Ghost in some fashion by having a very fancy dinner play out. Our dear friend Wolf was able to complete his 20-day stay in Waterdeep's prison, and Kronk was our amazing, amazing best boy, and nothing really bad happened to Kronk. He was having a great time, especially once mediocre time. That was at the very beginning of the stint, was when he got slashed by Ghost because Ghost was in a bad state, having kind of come down off of a failed attempt at hunting one Father Lewitt Vodner, or Waldner, who was the man responsible for killing much of her family. So we decided last week that you guys were all enjoying your morning ritual, having finally come back and talked amongst yourselves and really gotten a chance to figure things out. Hubris and Ghost were having a interesting conversation upstairs while Wolf and Kronk were busy training downstairs, when you guys heard a thunderous boom echo through all of Trollskull Alley, shaking your entire tavern. And upon reconvening downstairs, or at least upon inspecting the issues that had been going on, Ghost and Hubris, you guys are exiting the top flight of stairs, looking out, and you can see what appears to be 10 bodies that are all littered across in the center of what looks to be an explosion, as there's still smoke that is kind of coming up off of the ground. And Kronk and Wolf, you guys are also exiting the front door of your home, the Spirits and Spirits Tavern, also known as Trollskull Manor, to try and find out what the source of this explosion was. And upon throwing open the doors, you can see that there are several other people as well that are now kind of poking their heads out of their homes and wondering what could possibly have happened to make such a cacophonous boom. So, what would you guys like to do as you see that there are again 10 bodies that have kind of littered the streets? As well as you can hear the sound of somebody. You can see somebody running off yelling, "Guards, guards."
Is there anyone injured?
Nobody is currently injured to the point of recovery, but there are again 10 bodies that have suffered grievous wounds.
I'm just gonna first check to make sure Kronk is, like, I'll see him come out and note it, and then I'm going to look to see if I see anyone not perturbed by what happened.
Okay.
Like making an insight?
Yeah. This would just be a perception check. And are you approaching this this blast radius, or are you kind of staying back?
I guess I assume I have a height advantage, but we probably have a fence, right?
Yeah, you guys do have a small little gate in front of your manor.
I will try to get a height advantage, so if I can get on top of like a barrel or something like that, just so I can see over a little bit.
Okay.
But yes, I would like to make a perception check.
All right, make a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Alrighty, so
+6.
you see that there are people that are just looking wide-eyed, kind of talking amongst themselves. Some of them are actually on their way over to the bodies themselves, just very curious, not really knowing what's happened, what's going on. What are the rest of you guys doing as you see Ghost kind of hop up onto this fence to really like get a good look around at the people that are now kind of traveling around Trollskull Alley?
On their way out, Hubris had grabbed his gun, stuck it in his holster, like his jacket, over, and yeah, he's gonna walk over to the side of the fence, like peek around.
Okay.
I want to actually go investigate, try and find out what caused it, and if any of the bodies are recognizable of people we know.
Okay, sounds good. And then Kronk, where are you up to?
I'm ground zero right in the middle. Like, what is this? And is it in the street?
Yes. This was, so you guys, Trollskull Manor exists at a 4-way intersection. And on that intersection, roughly about 50 feet away from the entryway to your bar, that's where you see the edges of this blast radius. So it actually got very close to actually exploding onto your bar. But luckily, through the gods' favor, it did not seem to actually reach the bar that you guys have spent the last 2 weeks retrofitting.
And there's nobody alive. That's just parts.
There are whole bodies. None of them have been blasted into like visceral chunks. But you do see that there are a lot of charred bodies. There are a lot of people that have taken the brunt of this damage. And Wolf, as you get up with your 22 passive perception, you, and as well as your history, you definitely recognize this to be the effects of a fireball that seems to have gone off in the alleyway itself. And looking around at these people, you can see now that there is a group of other people kind of coming up to inspect as well. With a quick glance around, you can see that there is the body of an elderly woman. Not your elderly woman, thankfully, as she resides in the market district. But this woman's face just kind of seems to be burned beyond all recognition. You see that there are 2 cloaked figures with long swords at their sides that are just kind of sprawled out in different positions upon the ground. You can see that there are 2 female humans, as well as a male human that seem to have been dressed in servants' robes. And you can see that there is also a male gnome that has a burnt cloak, and he is clutching a dagger in his hand. It seems like the death grip has kind of set in, as he is not really letting go of that. And you can also see off to the side that there are what looks to be 4 halfling bodies, 2 female and 2 male. And there seems to be like this 8-year-old boy who's kind of like crying next to the halflings, as he just seems inconsolable. But again, with your 22 passive, you see that there is a pouch on the side hip or on the right hip of the gnome that is laying face down with his cloak, with his singed cloak. And you can also see that these 2 cloaked human males actually have what looked to be, one of them, his arm had kind of gotten, the leathers on his arm had kind of been burned away, and you can see a large black snake tattoo on the inside of his arm, which you recognize to be the symbol of the Zentarum.
Kronk, if he sees the little kid in the midst of this, he grabs him and gets him out of there.
Okay.
Out of the blast zone or whatever.
The kid doesn't look injured at all. It looks like he was just on the very edge of it, but he is just kind of crying and it seems inconsolable. So when you come to pick him up, make a perception check, as this is definitely like a stranger danger kind of moment.
Oh, but Kronk is like, this blast zone, be a hero, so he can't help himself. Nat 20.
Nice.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you go over, and in very much a, like the sun is to your back, so you just see this large silhouette leaning down saying, "Don't worry, I'll help you." This kid just goes along with you kind of picking him up. And what are you doing with him? Just kind of like carrying him off to the side?
Yeah, like back towards our place, just to get him out of the street in case another one hits or something's falling from the sky or whatever.
All right, sounds good. And then, Wolf, what are you currently doing? As you've seen Kronk just go over to this small kid, just pick them up, and then begin just walking them back in his arms to Spirits and Spirits.
I guess I'll try and grab that pouch.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check. As there are other people that are kind of coming over towards you.
If I see him going for it, can I assist him? Like, just draw attention to myself?
Make a perception check. And this will
And
be
I pull out my gun.
And I pull out my gun! 6.
All right. And then what'd you get for sleight of hand, Wolf?
Oh, that's good. That is 23.
All right. Yeah, so Hubris, you are kind of just scanning the scene, and nobody seems to actually see Wolf. Like, Wolf, you're leaning down and you're kind of checking bodies, but nobody sees you pad the bag, grab it, and just stuff it into your own pocket.
And then I'm just going to walk back to the tavern and go sit down, because you said I recognize what caused this, right?
You said that you had recognized the explosion itself, as well as you had recognized the 2 Zentarum agents that seem to have been there.
And I recognize the explosion because of
your backstory. When you yourself had actually been caught in one of these blasts and managed to make it out within an inch of your life.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm gonna be kind of, when I first walked out there before I recognized, I would have been like with a purpose. Well, now I'm kind of, just slowly walking back, not really focusing on everything around me.
All right. And it is at that point that you guys see about 12 guards actually coming from the entryway from the rest of the North Ward to Trollskull Alley, and 6 of them begin to block off the entryway. So that way nobody can really come in or out from the situation. You see that there are 6 more guards and what looks to be a higher ranking official actually go over and make their way towards the crime scene. And they seem to have gotten here in a matter of minutes.
I'm gonna shove Hubris back a little bit, and I'm gonna tell him to go inside.
Okay.
Convicted criminal and all.
Well, pardoned. I did my time, apparently.
Kronk's gonna hand the child to one of the, like, our waitstaff type people, like beyond our fence, and then he's gonna drop his ball and chain on the other side of the fence.
Yeah. This was so early in the morning that your guys' wait staff actually hadn't even arrived for their morning shift. It is literally
I'll take
just
the kid
four
in
of you.
if
Okay.
what's it? Yeah.
Yeah,
There
and
we
so
go.
with the nat 20 that Kronk had gotten to persuade the kid, like, it's okay, like, we're cool. He just hands the kid off to you, and Hubris, you just have like this kid who has what looks to be kind of like soot blast marks on his face, but he doesn't have any actual injury upon him.
Yeah. I'm gonna like take a thumb, wipe his cheek, cast prestidigitation, clean him up.
Okay.
You're safe now, little buddy. Snatch.
Thank you.
It's gonna be okay. I wonder if we have anything for kids. Just takes him inside the bar.
Okay. Yeah, so you bring the kid in, and the kid is just kind of he seems to just kind of be crying to himself. And as you look around, and you end up finding some milk that you guys have, and this was usually going to be meant for like making a stew or something else where you needed kind of a creamier broth. It's not exactly something that was meant to just be regularly drank, unless any of you guys are milk drinkers on the regular. I feel like Kronk might be, just because milk makes bones grow, and he is the biggest dude.
We had hot chocolate last night, so
We had hot chocolate last night.
That's
Yeah.
true, but Hubris had bought that from a different place, as you guys did not have cocoa.
Oh.
Astral saucer.
Yeah, it was the astral saucer. That dang
I take a
chain.
sniff of the milk, see if it's still holding.
Yeah, no, it seems fine. It's kind of been like, you guys kind of keep it in the back, so that way it doesn't necessarily spoil very quickly. But you do manage to find at least something that this kid could drink.
Yeah, handing it to him. All right. So can you tell me your name?
And the kid says that his name is in the book, because I definitely forgot to write it down for some reason or another. Don't know why I would do that. Yes, the kid says that his name is Martim. Martim Trek.
So, Martin, can you tell me what you were doing out there?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 16.
I was just playing with my friends. They were playing music and dancing, and it was really fun. And then, and he just begins to well up and just like quietly drinks the milk that you've set up. And he says, well, right after the explosion, I ducked behind a rain barrel because I didn't know what was going on, but I heard a plop sound, and when I looked in the rain barrel, I found this. And he holds up what looks to be a necklace, and the necklace has 2 red beads on it, and it looks like there were 3 clasps that had these beads kind of holstered in, and one of those beads is currently missing from a clasp.
Oh dear. All right, Martin. Well, is it all right if I take it from you?
Make a persuasion check.
22.
He just kind of hands it to you and just kind of goes back. Thank you for the milk.
No, well, it's no problem. Say, do you want to see a magic trick? And Hubris will, just with a flourish, spell out his name in his palm with prestidigitation like right over his hand with like glowing lights.
Okay.
Take the top of his hand, press it downward, and make it scatter like butterflies.
And you see that he just gets like this kind of weary smile on his face. Like he is enjoying it, but there's such a juxtaposition happening in this kid's emotions right now that he doesn't really know how to switch from one emotion to the other. But he does seem like he is enjoying it. So then Kronk, Ghost, and Hubris, you guys, or Kronk, Ghost, and Wolf, you guys are all currently outside as you see the guards coming. What are you guys going to do?
Lean up against the wall and cross my arms curiously. Not like, I guess it would kind of look like a thug, like hanging out, but she's just kind of blank face, like assessing the situation.
Okay.
I'm still in zombie walk mode back. My head's in a different area.
Kronk is like moving amongst the bodies, not like flipping them over, but just kind of checking. Probably got his med pack out.
Okay.
And just making sure people are dead.
Yeah. And as you are checking to see if these people are dead, you hear a voice kind of call out to you. A male voice that says, "Back away from the crime scene. This is an official investigation." And you see that it looks like this kind of more well-dressed guard is addressing you specifically, telling you to back off as these other guards are kind of coming over and they seem to be quarantining the area.
Sure, officer. Just trying to help. And Kronk steps back. Like I said, still got his med pack in his paw, and just stands at the ready.
Yeah, and as you kind of look around, you actually see that there are shadows kind of being cast over these people very quickly, and looking up, you can see that there are now Griffin riders that are circling above, trying to get a good idea of what's happened just from an aerial view, and you see kind of one of them come down as a member of the Griffin cavalry actually steps off of their ride and begins to talk to the other individuals. As guards begin to address all of you, everyone in the alleyway, and just, "Everyone back inside. If you can all return to your homes, we'll be coming around shortly to ask questions to see if anybody has seen anything, if anyone has heard anything about this. This is an official investigation. Please, we ask for nothing more than your compliance."
I'm gonna move back to the gate, like just standing outside the gate watching.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of motion for Kronk to join me. Is there anyone I know that's walking around?
The people that had kind of come out to inspect this, you can see that the herbalist, Fala, is kind of making their way back to Coralon's Crown, their herbalist shop. And you can see that, as usual, Froon was just kind of peeking out of his blinders, just kind of spying on the neighborhood at large. And you had seen that that Vincent, the investigator, had actually poked his head out. But as soon as they said to return to your homes, this is an official investigation, he just kind of solemnly nodded and then went back into his shop.
Okay. Is Froon's house across the street from us, or is his house connected to ours? It's like quarter, right?
His house, so if you are looking at the crossroad, his house is down the easternmost length of road that goes down there. So he's a good like 150 feet away from where your guys' bar is. But he always just sort of seems to be like peeking his eyes out and giving people stink eye.
Yeah. I'm wondering if he saw something because he's so freaking nosy. I kind of lean over to Kronk. What do you say? Do you want to look into this more? Or do you want to let them do their job?
We better stay out of the way for now. Do our own investigation later.
All right. Go see if you can get Wolf. We need his keen ears.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go back on the other side of the fence and just kind of listen to as much as I can without being like
Yeah.
super obvious about it.
Mm-hmm. And so, Wolf, you said that you were returning to the bar? All right. Yeah, so making your way into the bar, you see that Hubris is currently using his magic to entertain an 8-year-old inside of this bar as you make your way in. And Kronk, are you kind of making your way into the bar as well, or are you staying on the outside?
I'm gonna snatch up my ball and chain like under my cloak.
Mm-hmm.
As I enter the yard, I'm picking up my stuff or whatever, and then I will take the ball and chain back in and toss it down into the fight club pit.
Okay.
You know, just through the hatch, and then I guess I'll go back to the door and keep an eye on Ghost, and try to get Wolf's attention.
Alrighty. Yeah, and so Wolf, you definitely see that Kronk is kind of motioning towards you, trying to get your attention.
I'll take a little bit, but then I'd snap back into it. Like,
No.
yeah.
Ghost needs your keen eyes.
Okay. And I'll casually walk back out there. Still not 100% me.
Okay. So yeah, as you make your way back out there, Ghost, you see that Wolf is making his way back out towards you. Make a stealth check. As you Ghost, make a stealth check as you are kind of like trying to keep yourself stealthy from about 6 guards.
Okay. How is it 12?
Yeah, you see that there are about 5 of these guards, as well as the Griffin Rider, that all kind of just look at you and say, "Please return to your homes."
I'm at my home.
Inside, please. This is a sensitive matter for the city.
Is there any danger currently?
We aren't sure, and that's why we would please... We would prefer if you were in your home in case there were any extra danger that ended up happening. We are the guard. We are hired here to protect you and your kind, and we can't do that if you aren't in your home. So please, for the sake of the city.
All right, if the city is at stake, then I'm going to turn and walk back.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said to me?
Your
For
kind.
the sake of your kind.
Oh, see, now Wolf's gonna be walking over to him with intent because
No.
no, he's welcome.
Wolf, I'm going to grab his arm if he continues out there.
Yeah.
Don't.
He was just kind of
Not
making his
right
way
now.
towards you.
Yeah. It's not time.
Hey, you were an action surge away from being snatched up too. In here, buddy.
Yeah, and you can see that everybody else on the streets are kind of just returning to their homes, as well as these guards continue their investigation, just kind of trying to figure out and make sense of the situation at large.
Watch from the window.
Yeah. And so this little boy, Martin, is currently just inside of your bar. And he is telling you about his friends that he had met, and he doesn't really seem to have much information about what was happening. He was more focused on the performers that he had befriended that were kind of dancing around, and he's given you given you this necklace. And Wolf, make a perception check real quick.
Perception.
Yes.
Oh, rolled off the table.
Hmm.
Oh, that is even better than my passive. That is 26.
All right, so with your 26, kind of feeling around in the bag that you had gotten from off the body, you can feel what would feel like 5 rather sizable gems in that small pouch.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you guys are sitting in the bar talking amongst yourselves for about 20 minutes or so until eventually Ghost, as you had been peeking out of the window, you see that there is a shorter blonde human with a cane and a gold amulet around his neck. That has just seems to kind of be making his way into the alley, and the guards actually separate for him as he comes in, followed up with a taller human with what looks to be a notebook in his hand, and they are making their way. And they stop by the crime scene. And after staying there for 5 minutes or so and talking to the guards in kind of hushed tones, they end up actually, some of the guards actually point towards your guys' tavern. And then you see him actually on his way up, and he opens the gate and comes up to the door as you guys hear a knock on the door.
So during the time I had explained to everyone else what the kid had said to me, showed them the trinket. And can I roll Arcana on it?
Yep. You make an Arcana check.
Does anyone recognize it?
16.
Nobody recognizes this immediately. And Hubris, you would know that this is most certainly a magical item. This does not seem to be a mundane item, and it has evocation magic associated with it, but it would take you some time to actually get down and identify this item.
So, if the gods do, when the gods do come here, how do you want to play it?
Well, we've done nothing wrong.
Right. So
We're not
we
telling
hand.
them about the amulet. They had a chance to solve one of these crimes before they didn't.
I turn to the kid, and I kneel. All right. So, how you feeling, kid?
Scared?
Oh, you know, I'd like rub his head, like pat him. You're very brave for one telling us about what you saw. And there are going to be some men in here asking questions. And we're going to need you to forget you saw the amulet.
But I don't know if I can forget that. It was really shiny.
Well, if they ask about it, tell them... Well, if they ask if you saw anything, just say you didn't.
You want me to lie?
Do you want something shiny instead? Can I just give him a gem?
Yeah. Yeah, and you...
Here's something shiny. Can you say that this is the shiny thing you saw?
And he just looks at it, and his eyes just get huge. And he just silently nods, just looking at this large blue gem that Wolf seems to have just pulled out of nowhere. As you guys aren't really sure where he got these.
Or if you don't mention the shiny thing, you can have it.
And he just nods very quickly, and he just sort of sits there looking at this gem.
Hey, just so you
I'll
know...
tell you later.
Just so you guys know, there might be something tricky going on. Last time I got accosted by some gods, they said something about a zone of truth.
Stone of truth, wasn't it?
I doubt they'll use that on a child, but
Is there anyone in here?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
apologies.
I know you're in here.
One moment.
Doesn't do us any good to lie.
Also, doesn't do us any good to completely tell the truth. Let's just leave things out.
I'll go to the door and
I'll
peek my head
follow.
out.
Yeah, and opening up the door, you see this this smaller gentleman who has these kind of bluish tinted glasses that he's wearing on his face. And he's just sort of leaning over a cane, and he says, "May I come in? My name is Barnabas Blastwind. I'm a member of the Magister's Guild, one of the chief investigators, and I was wondering if myself and Sergeant Cromley here could possibly ask you a few questions about, this terrible occurrence that seems to have happened outside of your home."
Sure.
Sure.
So,
Please.
see Sergeant Cromley just kind of nod, and they both step into your house, and Sergeant Cromley shuts the door behind.
Would you gentlemen care for a drink, or do you not drink on the job?
I personally don't drink on the job, no, but I know that Sergeant Cromley does enjoy getting into his cups every once in a while. Isn't that right, Sergeant Cromley? And Cromley just kind of like looks a little bashfully down. He's just, "Nope, I'm good," and just kind of keeps writing. Yes, anyways, so I did have a few questions. Mostly, I'm coming to you first. Seeing as how the general proximity of your establishment to this tragic event would possibly put you closest if you knew anything about what was going on. So did you notice anything? Did you see anything? Was anything out of the ordinary this morning? Anything at all? Anything that you can think of?
10 dead bodies is pretty out of the ordinary.
Yes, well, that would have been after the tragic event. I'm more directing these questions at before this explosion.
I can't say that there was anything odd. Got out of bed, spoke with my associate for a few minutes, and then we heard an explosion.
Well,
Do you know what caused the explosion?
make a persuasion check.
Oh man, Hubris, why don't you talk?
Because you opened your mouth!
Always open your mouth.
It's a 7.
At this time, we are not going to be releasing details.
Is there any immediate danger to us?
It seems like all current threat has alleviated, mostly in part due to our Griffin cavalry, also in part due to a heavy guard presence. Situations like these typically bring in magisters such as myself, and any mild criminals that might be going around doing such nefarious deeds typically run with their tails between their legs when the watch comes.
Or they're caught up in the explosion.
Yes.
Oh yes, there were. Oh, did I see the snake's tattoos?
No.
With my 20?
Nope.
Okay.
That was only Wolf who had gone over to kind of like turn over bodies and actually interact with them before the guards had come.
Mm-hmm. You know what might be helpful? Liv, darling. I don't know what your vision is like on the exterior. Did you see anything outside that was suspicious? Or were you watching the soap opera upstairs?
And Barnabas just kind of like squints his eyes at you, and Cromley just sort of like,
I wouldn't call it a soap opera. It was more like a...
And you guys just hear the sound of chalk being marked on, and you look over and you can see what looks to be a depiction of a reclining chair that is just drawn very largely, and Barnabas just looks at that. quite curious. Cromley, make sure that you take note of this. Is this a sentient chalkboard?
No, sentient house. There's a spirit trapped here, hence spirit and spirits.
Well, if you'd like, you could probably hire a cleric to get it removed.
No.
How much would that be?
I will
That-
kick you.
That whole time, Kronk was doing the statue mode, and the second he said removed, the skull appeared on his face, and he trying real hard to like relax, and he can't.
Yes, and as he notices that, just Sergeant Cromley, if you could please also make note of this individual's generalized expression, the watch. Now, do you have any other information that you could
Go on.
There was a child caught in the blast. Well, he was pushed away from it.
And did you see where this child went?
Yes.
I point behind Kronk. He was scared, so we took him inside. I think he needed some warming up.
Gave him some milk.
Thank you.
Would you mind if we ask this child a few questions?
If you don't mind us listening, or at least one of us, since his parent is not here.
Yes. Sadly, there are many children in the streets of Waterdeep who do not have parents or homes to call their own. But we will do our best. If you would like to apply for guardianship, I'm sure that there are forms that you could possibly fill out.
How does one do that?
Gods, no, please, no.
Well,
okay.
If you
How
would
does
like to
one-
apply for guardianship of this child, we can send some. I can make sure to get some forms your way.
Do we know?
I'll make sure the kid doesn't have parents in the first place.
Yeah. What,
Or I apply for
little one?
custody.
Where are your parents?
Well, we live in just by the. We're by the north gate. We live in the North Ward.
Oh, I see.
And
So,
I was
not
supposed to be going to the market district, but I got distracted because the music was really nice.
Why don't you tell them about what you saw? The music.
And he just has this large gem in his hand. Now, young one, where did you get such a fine gem? Kid, he looks at it and then looks up at Barnabas, and Barnabas says, "Don't worry, I'm a friend. We're all friends here."
Ghost.
And Martin points at Wolf and says, "He gave it to me."
The kid looked sad. I thought something shiny would cheer him up. I'm just trying to do a civil duty and improve the world better than the way I found it.
Make a deception check.
It's not deception, it's true. New wolf. Dirty 20. Yes.
Alrighty. So, as you say that, Martin just kind of seems lost in this gem. And Barnabas, he seems to acknowledge what you guys are saying. And so he then asks Martin again, just, "So, young boy, what did you see?" And Martin says that he was out enjoying the performance of his friends that he had made on the street when the explosion had kind of rocked him back, and he had hid behind a rain barrel to really just kind of avoid anything. He didn't see anything past that initial explosion or what possibly caused it. And Barnabas just sort of nods, and Cromley just, "Yeah, all right," just continues writing. And Barnabas eventually just sort of straightens himself up on his cane, and you see that he stands no higher than 5'5", 5'4". He's again not a very tall individual. Says, "All right, well, if any of you do have anything else that you would like to come forward with, simply come by to the halls of justice, and we will make sure that, well, hopefully whatever criminal caused this is brought to justice." Thank you. Thank you all for your time, and
Were we the target? Do you know who was the target?
make another persuasion check. This time with disadvantage because you've already failed trying to gain information from him once.
Why did you disadvantage? Now it's a 3 instead of a 16.
Again, as I have stated prior, we are not at liberty to divulge any of the information about an open investigation.
Well, close it and tell me.
Once we find out what it is that actually happened here, I would have no greater joy than to be able to tell each and every member of this alleyway what it was that happened. And alleviate some of the anxiety that seems to have overtaken this place.
May we take the child home?
Can they take the child home?
I can have a guard escort the child home, but if you would like to escort... what did you say your name was, young boy? Martin. Yes, if you would like to escort young Martin home, be my guest. We're planning on sticking around here for at least the next hour or so to really talk to any shop owners who may have seen something.
Can we walk outside? Can we stay in our closed courtyard?
Well, if
My
you're
bedroom's kind of in the
escorting,
other building.
if
I'm saying, but if I'm not escorting the kid and just staying here,
then I would prefer that you stay inside.
can I move to my bedroom? It's not accessible from this building.
Then yes.
Okay.
Just don't linger.
Oh, never. I would never linger.
Don't even know what lingering is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I don't understand that word.
No.
It's some type of fish.
Mm.
Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
we should put it on the menu.
If you have any further questions, my name is Barnabas Blastwind, and I would be more than happy to take any information that you possibly have. But
Cheers, Barney.
Of course.
And he and Sergeant Cromley end up making their way out of your house, and you see them making their way over to the Tiger's Eye, where again you hear a kind of distant now as the door opens and you see Vincent just welcome them into his establishment. And Martin looks at you, Ghost, and says, "You're really gonna take me home?"
I'm not going to take you home.
Oh.
But Hubris will.
Did you want to go home?
I'm sure his mother's worried.
I miss my family.
It's
Okay.
been 10 minutes. Sorry. I'm not very good with children.
Well, I
It's
was
fine.
Yeah, 2 people with like no family going, fuck, man, just
I
grow
was
up.
supposed to be back. I was supposed to be back 30 minutes ago. They're probably worried about me.
Well,
Are they rich?
I'm gonna punch him. Like, just jab him in the arm.
It's for a reason.
Kronk leans way in on you, Wolf, and he's like, "You threaten Liv again."
I just asked how much it would cost. I
Mm.
wasn't gonna do it. I was just wondering.
He will
In case
kill
we came
you.
across-
He probably will kill you.
If we came across another haunted house with an evil spirit, it's best to know the information, Kronk.
I am a
I'm friends
cleric.
with Liv now.
He does
See,
call
we
him his
told us-
name.
Why do
Kronk leans back, and then he's like,
I even
"Reason-
made him a bar of soap with his name on it. He just hasn't taken it yet.
what do you say, Martin?
Martin.
Me and Hubris walk you home."
He just nods, and you see him just like clutching this gem as he stuffs it into his pocket.
I'm gonna grab Kronk and just say, "Be very careful. Remember last time we were there."
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to talk to Hubris and be like, two of your friends are dead out there, so
I look at Ghost, Kronk. I go, they're right there.
I point to your forearm where your snake tattoo is. Two of your friends.
You use the word friend like I actually like what's happening. Like,
You didn't go to jail. I know I said I'll be nice and change, but it's still a bit filthy.
You guys are talking a lot about murder and going to jail. Am I actually gonna go home?
Yeah, you're gonna go home. Big guy here will make sure of it.
I'd really like to go home.
Let's
All right.
go.
first,
Kronk-
first
Kronk
I'm
reaches
gonna go
behind the
get
bar
Shane.
and, gets his sword.
Yeah, and you just see this little child's hand go into Kronk's giant mitt.
I'm assuming it's holding just onto his pinky.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Kronk just does kind of the statue thing at the threshold, waiting for Hubris to get changed.
Yeah, he literally walked out there in like his breeches and a coat.
That's true.
So what's this? The chair drawing and the soap opera comment.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
was Luke watching a soap opera, and then he draws a picture of the only recliner we have in this establishment, Hubris's.
She kind of gives this coy smile and then places a hand on his chest and says, "Wouldn't you like to know?" And then shoves him a little bit and walks away.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and then so Hubris, you go upstairs, get changed, eventually come back down, and Ghost, are you also going back up to your room?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty. So yeah, you are making your way towards your room, and Hubris, you end up getting changed, coming back down, meeting up with Kronk, and then you guys begin making your way, following Martin's directions, back to his house.
On the way out the door, Kronk says to Liv, buddy, I'd have to join you before they'd take you. And he pats the frame of the house as he walks out, and he way ducks under to get through the door.
Yeah, and you guys begin making your way out of the house, and then Wolf, what is Ghost has gone upstairs. Are you also going upstairs, or are you going back down to the fighting pit?
Can I go outside and see if I can not be detected and chill?
Yeah, make a stealth check as you go outside.
Oh wait, no, that's still a 17. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was.
All right. So yeah, as you go outside and kind of like sidle up next to the fence, as you kind of like put your ear up against the metal bars, you just hear this clang, 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 clang against the bar right next to you, as a guard is just looking at you and just says, "Please return to your home."
I thought I heard something in here, a creaking sound. That's all. And I'll
He just gives you this dead look. Just, Please return to your home.
Okay. I'll walk into the tower where all the rooms are.
Okay. Sounds good.
Rude.
So yeah, Hubris and Kronk. Martin is going to make a survival check. And he actually does really well. So
good.
No worries about that. And so yeah, you guys, Kronk, you had been worried that you had possibly misheard him say that his house had been in the castle ward, but he actually lives in the north ward near the northernmost gate of the town. So there isn't. You guys know that there isn't going to be as heavy of a guard presence, but you still see that there is more of a Griffin Rider presence kind of flying around above you.
When we get away from the foot guards, Kronk is like, he can barely take a step. His feet aren't even crossing over across each other to keep up with the pace of this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just once we're like out of eyesight from the ground guards, Kronk will be like, kiddo, you want to ride?
He looks up at you and just like a piggyback.
Mm-hmm.
He just nods with a big smile on his face.
And he like helps him, and he like puts a knee up, and he kind of puts him to the knee, and then kind of helps him to sit on Kronk's shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And the sword in the scabbard creates like a seat, so he can lean back on it, and then just get his legs down. I'm like, just stay up there, and then
yeah.
And
And he just has this.
can move.
He just has this gem in his hand as Hubris, you and Kronk are walking up. And yeah, so Ghost, you are now back in Trollskull Manor, and you've heard Wolf make his way up after about 5 minutes or so of him just seeming to have tried to stay outside to get more information that he could. But it doesn't look like he was successful in his stealthing attempt. So what are you two doing?
We don't have a... Sorry, I'm looking at the Trollskull Manor and Tavern map that I have. And are there any windows that face the outer, like the front yard?
Yes, you would know that there is one in Hubris's room. And that's where
I
you
also
guys
have
had
access
initially...
to the roof.
Yeah,
in
I'm just a little
mine.
concerned about that with the Griffin Riders. So I would go into Hubris's room, and I'm gonna pull his chair to the window so I can sit in the chair.
Okay.
And I'll just leave the door open. So if Wolf
I
walks
guess I'll follow. Did the chair make any rattling noises when Ghost dragged it?
I probably didn't even pick it up. I probably just scraped it across.
Yeah, if there was rattling noise, it would have just been completely masked over by the sound of this chair just being dragged against your guys' newly renovated hardwood floor.
You're as strong as Kronk. Why didn't you just pick it up?
Because that would take more effort.
Fair enough.
You know, you can fit 2 people on here. Want to join me?
How do you know that you can fit 2 people on here?
Do you remember when I died?
Oh, let me see. Do I remember making a deal and selling my soul? Yeah?
Yeah. That night, the 3 of us, stayed at Hubris's place, and I think I slept on the chair. No, I think I slept on Kronk.
No, I'm good.
All right. I'll watch outside.
Okay, make a perception check.
Do I also make one?
Yes, because this is going to be actively looking outside. Your current passive perception is kind of just like radiating around you in this second story room.
My passive is still higher than my roll.
Okay.
I got a 22, so I see as much as he does.
Okay, so because Ghost, you are actively trying to look out across the street and really get a good observation, like kind of training your eyes on things.
Mm-hmm.
you end up just kind of seeing the guards come and go. And eventually, you see that there are what look to be clerics of Kelemvor actually coming up with a large cart, and then they start picking the bodies up and then setting them onto the cart. And it seems like they are just trying to clear out the scene. And then once the bodies have all been placed onto this cart, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mute in time. But then once all of the bodies have kind of been placed up onto this cart, they all are carted out of the alleyway, and you see that Barnabas and Cromley are making the rounds. You see them go over to the Tiger's Eye. You see them go down and talk to Rashal, the bookworm as he was, and they ask, just, did you see anything? Did you hear anything? And very quickly, just, no, I'm mid-afternoon riser. I'm not exactly an early bird by any means. And then you see them go behind your guys' house. And after about 15 minutes or so, they end up coming around the back alley and then making their way out of the alleyway. As you see that other wizards have actually come by and seem to have prestidigitated all of the soot and the general crime scene, as it were, clean, almost like nothing has happened in this alleyway, which seems very. I mean, you've seen this not necessarily several times, like with explosions, but you have seen the effects of adventurers of ill renown getting up to shenanigans throughout Waterdeep, and usually the city kind of quickly fixes itself, so that way there isn't really a lasting imprint for anybody's mistake or anybody's screw up.
All right. That was fast.
And the whole scene seems to be cleaned up within the hour.
Mm-hmm.
So the guards didn't tell us it was a fireball and there were 2 dead Zentarum agents, and I'm going to assume a Xanathar was holding the dagger. Because
Why would they be here?
a look around the room we're standing in.
They're watching us? Watching Hubris.
Who knows?
Well, I'm asking you if you know.
I don't. They kind of don't like me, remember?
Yes, but you were part of them.
And they
at
don't
one
need
point.
to watch me. They can track me from wherever they are.
So, lunch?
Okay.
We'll go downstairs and make some lunch.
Yeah. No, and you guys exit back out on the city street, and you guys have seen that there is still a heavier than normal Griffin cavalry presence that seems to kind of just be circling above. But the street guards themselves have all left, and you can see that there is a little bit of life kind of left back into the city as you guys go downstairs and prepare your lunches, which it goes off without a hitch. I mean, you guys are just kind of making lunch. You have all the fixings you need for sandwiches, or you can kind of get into the food that was left over from the pub last night as just kind of leftovers. Nobody's really gonna miss it.
Can I grab my gems out and actually have a look at?
Yeah.
I didn't give the kid the most expensive one.
Yeah. So you kind of pour these gems out onto the bar itself, and you see that there are 4 kind of larger sized gems that just sort of clatter out onto the bar itself. And Ghost, you see these as well, and there are a variety of colors. There's one that's a yellowish color, there's a reddish one, there's a green one, and then there's a dark purple one. And make an insight check as you try and gauge roughly how expensive you think these gems would be.
Should I as well? Or I don't know if I'd know anything about that.
You can make an insight check as well.
15.
Okay.
Oh, I have no idea.
All right, so yeah,
They look nice.
yeah, Ghost. These look like very nice, shiny gems. But Wolf, you would know that each of these gems is worth roughly 100 gold pieces,
Same with that blue one I gave away.
including the blue one that you gave away. It seemed like all of these gems were roughly the same cut.
So this was on the little dead gnome, right?
Yep.
Which was holding the dagger in a stabbing position.
It just looked like he had been holding the dagger facing downward rather than up. Yes.
So ready to attack, possibly.
Possibly.
I'm gonna grab the purple one. Nice. I'll put it in my
I'll put-
pocket.
The other 3 back in the bag. You're like, okay.
All right.
What can you get for 500 gold?
A lot.
If you were an evil, conniving little gnome,
Hmm.
or if you were 2 Gentarum agents and you just bought something for 500,
Did you get? Did Hubris tell us what the necklace was? That it was magical, or just no? Okay.
Oh, he would have told you guys it was magical, but he didn't actually know it offhand.
did you take it with you, or did you leave it here?
It's in his back pocket.
I don't know. Maybe it was a drug deal gone bad or something. Magic deal gone bad.
Spice? Do you spice? Spice?
Spice must
So
blow.
the necklace.
I don't know. Is it any of our business?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we should leave this city in a better place. And it messes with the factions.
You have
No other
changed.
reasons.
I don't know if I like it. All right. I guess whatever we decide to do when the group gets back together. But for now, I think a nap.
Pretty certain whatever you say, Kronk's going to go along with, and Hubris will go along with. So,
Is that how the group works? I hadn't.
well,
noticed.
just for 2 of them.
Oh no, you won't do as I say.
No. Not unless I agree with it.
Challenge
And that's
accepted.
the stance I'm taking on this matter.
Yep, we're gonna finish breakfast or lunch.
All right. Yeah, it's like it's a little late in the day to be considered breakfast. You could call it a brunch if you wanted, or just a well-timed lunch. It really depends on, I guess, the food that you decided to be eating on. But Kronk and Hubris, you guys are escorting Martin back to his house, and by the time that you get there, you see Martin just kind of points out the house to you and asks to be let down.
So, Martin, before we let you back in, about that gem my friend gave you.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
Yeah, you know, it'd be kind of hard for you to explain where you got it from without it being confiscated by your parents or someone else.
Well, it's mine.
Yeah. How about a trade?
He looks at you very curiously.
And I'll ruffle inside my pouch. So, 2 gold for the gem that you could spend on all the treats you want. And maybe a 3rd gold.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. 20.
Okay. So he looks at you and just, oh, okay. Sure, I can get a lot of candy with this?
Oh, you can get so much candy. When I was younger, if I had 3 gold, I wouldn't have teeth right now.
And he goes and extends the gem out to you as you begin handing him some gold. And that is when you hear a shrill voice call out that seems to just pierce through the alleyway of just, Martin! Martin, what are you doing with that strange man? And you look over and the door's been thrown open and there just seems to be kind of like this older woman who looks very full-bodied. Her hair is kind of pulled back in this grayish bun and just, Martin, quit talking with him. Get inside.
Excuse me, miss.
And before the exchange can happen, he just takes his gem and begins running over.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, he's on Kronk's shoulders.
No,
had
he was
asked
let
to be
down.
let
Yeah,
down.
let him down.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like spin the coins back into my finger and pocket them.
What do you think you're doing with my nephew?
There might have been a bit of a situation.
And Martin is just inside the house now. What kind of situation would warrant offering my nephew several gold pieces? This isn't, you didn't touch him, did you?
No, it's compensation, my dear lady, for trauma.
She just looks at you.
That's not how it came out. So he might have witnessed a few murders.
If you're trying to give my nephew hush money for your illicit activity, I will call the city guard.
Oh, please.
I will have you know that I am on very good terms with Sergeant Cromley.
Oh, he can affirm that he was there at my bar after an incident.
So
in our
you're
street.
saying that my nephew was hanging around a bar when he was supposed to be getting groceries for his sick mother?
Oh. No.
I don't know who you are, and I don't care how you know my nephew. I don't care how you try and reason with it. You seem like an ill-advised adventuring type, and I want nothing to do with you, and I will call the guard if I ever see you talking to my nephew again. Have I made myself clear?
Yeah, his baggage, not mine. I turn and I leave.
And before you can leave, I like put my hand out, your chest-sized palm, and I stop you. And I look at the lady, and I'm like, my friend handed your son a gemstone so that he would calm down in the wake of the incident. My associate here was trying to get my friend's gem back and compensate the boy a bit.
So you are trying to rip off a small child after handing him a gemstone?
Two, and in Kronk's eyes, he's just about had it.
Big guy.
He's
Make
like,
an intimidation check.
all right.
Hey, no time for a bull in the china shop.
Oh, this poor woman's gonna die.
Oh no. Hey, I guess we're adopting a kid.
Because I rolled a 5, and with my bonus, that's 8.
And she comes right up next to you, just face to face, straightens her shirt. She says, I don't ever want to see you or your friend talking with my nephew ever again. And if I do see you, I will be calling the guard. Do I make myself clear, adventurer?
I pat Kronk on the chest and just start.
It's just stone. And he's like,
She's just not letting up. She seems to just be looking at you with the same intensity that you are giving back.
and Kronk, eventually, he takes way too, like Kung Fu movie too long of a swing, 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 the eye slits.
It does the side view, and you just hear
And eventually Kronk starts to straighten up to like, twice this woman's height. And then he does the kind of stiff servant thing and he takes one step back and then he turns as he removes his hand from in front of Hubris. And then, I mean, like, stomp his way off. Like,
Sorry for
Don't
the
you have your elven boots on, which make
Yeah.
no
Oh,
sound? And you
like a fucking
You would
ring
still
wraith.
you would still feel the weight of Kronk leaving, but it wouldn't have the like uproarious stomp that you were intending it to.
which just irks him even more.
Well,
All right.
sorry for the inconvenience. Have a good day. Leaves.
And she just walks back, and you hear the door slam behind you guys. And that is where we are going to go into our first break of the evening. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has stuck with us so far for this week's Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, come right on back because we are going to be picking up right where we left off. So we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody.
got to do something this hard.
Hello, everybody, and willkommen back to Waterdeep Dragon Heist, where we recently just had an interaction with Martin's rather rude aunt, who was able to stare down a skull-faced Goliath without even breaking a sweat. Hubris and Kronk are making their way back to Trollskull Manor as Ghost and Wolf are now just finishing up their brunch lunch.
But real quick,
Yep.
on the way back, as I'm silent stomping away, Kronk looks over at Hubris and says, "You stole me ice cream."
Yeah, I do. I know. I owe you about 3 gold's worth of ice cream, as by this logic. Rot your teeth good.
All right, so are you guys going to a sweet shop?
We're gonna stop for ice cream.
All right, go
Make sense.
make an investigation check.
Natty 1.
Oh, 11.
Alrighty, so yeah, you with your 11, you are you look around and it takes you the better part of an hour. You know that there's something like ice cream in the market district that you could possibly go and investigate. The only problem with it is more finding an ice cream shop. As the ability to kind of maintain cold is very, very precarious around Waterdeep. But what you end up being able to find is actually a gnome with what appears to be a large steel bowl. And it looks like he has a canister kind of set up next to it. And he just says,
All right, so basically you just gotta pick out your flavors, and then I'll mix it together right here, right on this large stone flat, and I'll whatever you want. We got butterscotch, we got chocolate, we have vanilla, we have coconut shavings that we've imported. We do have some rare fruits from Cholt if you are interested in that. It is kind of a little bit more expensive, but we are willing to end up mixing that in there for you. I have a pretty good deal hooked up with a lot of the other sweet merchants around town. We can actually put in a little bit of cake batter in there if you're interested. A little bit of crumbs from maybe like a pie or something. What are you looking for?
How does cotton candy work in this situation?
Cotton candy? What's that?
Oh, well, it's, they call it different things in different places, but basically it's like really fluffy sugar that dissolves in your mouth.
If I knew how it was made, I could probably figure it out.
I'll just go with the butterscotch.
All right. Sounds good to me. What about you, big guy?
2 for you? Yeah, okay, 2 for him. I'll take
All
one.
right, sounds good.
And you see him begin just mixing things into this large bowl. And as he does, he twists a valve on this large metallic canister that he has next to it that just begins to drip this liquid. And as it goes in, you can actually see it just steaming from the outside air as he quickly just kind of spins it out. As he begins to quickly create your ice cream, adding in dairy and everything else that he would need. Until eventually, after about 5 minutes, you see him just with this large bowl that he has to wear gloves in order to hold properly, because otherwise his fingers might actually stick to the side. It gets so cold. And he walks over, grabs some little paper bowls that he has, and just starts mounding it full of ice cream for you guys.
We have a take a child to work day where you get to bring your kids to where I work, and every year they do the liquid nitrogen ice cream. That's awesome. Way cool.
It's what gnomes would have, man. Probably. I mean, in my Waterdeep, they have liquid nitrogen ice cream because that makes more sense than making it the other way.
So, how do you get it so that the nitroglycerin doesn't actually... Because I've had some bad experiences with that.
It's really easy. You just don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
Get good.
I would like to say that I'm the first shop owner that this establishment has had. I was an intern a year ago. Now it's my store. There's an insane turnover rate.
I figure.
Now, the overall price for 1 scoop is going to be 5 silver pieces. And for 2 scoops, that is going to be 7 silver pieces.
So, 2 gold, keep the change.
Thank you very much.
Yes. This poor man is going to lose his cart.
Enjoy your day.
Kronk is taking small solace in his butterscotch ice cream.
Okay.
I'm just going to look up at Kronk and...
Make a wisdom saving throw as you are eating this ice cream.
Oh, my good stat.
Not Constitution.
Nope.
Oh. Just Kronk or me as well?
You as well.
18.
Let me see. You know,
I'm proficient.
plus 0 is 8.
Kronk, you do get brain freeze.
Aww.
Hubris, you're fine.
Skull.
he's like, you gotta take your time, big guy.
Like half of it in one bite. Awesome.
All right, so you guys have gotten ice cream from the market district, having found your way into this gnome's establishment. And then Wolf and Ghost, what are you guys currently doing? Having just
I'm
finished
sitting like I am in the Be Right Back screen.
What?
Except,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and I want to break in the fire pit and fight.
You want to fight me?
Well, I promise not to one-shot you.
Okay, what are the rules?
I'll let you decide, because, you know, to be fair.
All right. Gosh, what does Wolf use to fight? I don't remember. A knife, dagger, knives. Okay. All right. You can use your knives. I'll use my claws. I won't ignite them. No magic.
Why aren't you igniting your claws?
I mean, I can if you want. I just thought that might be a little reminiscent for you.
I'm not the one that got ignited.
Fair
Wouldn't be
enough.
reminiscent for you.
I've already dealt with that trauma. Sure.
Yeah, I also haven't died before, so...
All right. Until we yield.
not going to yield
Until one of us passes out
or dies.
or dies. Fair
Because I know
enough.
magic can't kind of hold back.
I told you I wouldn't use magic.
Yeah, isn't your fire a bit magic?
Well, yes, that.
Yeah,
But
see,
I
if
promise
that
I
is-
won't smite you.
Oh, if you're holding back, that's not fair.
If you
No
want me to
holding
go
back.
all out. All
No
right.
holding back. Okay, let's
All
go.
right. All right.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Ghost actually smiles as she goes downstairs.
All right. So yeah, you guys go.
I'm actually thinking to everything ghosts can do, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck.
All right. So yeah, you guys
Act
get
cool, act cool.
you guys get down into the fight pit. And the way that it is structured is that there is a kind of Colosseum style ring that is inside the middle, where it is just a depression in the floor, so that way people can sit onto the sides and kind of watch the fight as it's going in, or just stand around, as well as a plethora of wooden dummies that all have different pegs out. If you've seen the TV show Arrow, imagine the Arrow layer, where they have just a bunch of these fighting dummies that are meant for just physical training and getting the getting your regiment down. But you two enter into to this fight pit. What is do you have any like pre-fight plans that you're wanting to go to, or do you guys just want to get into initiative?
I am going to, as we prepare, I'm going to shift.
Okay. What does that do?
Once per as my my race ability, once per short rest as a bonus action, you can assume a more bestial appearance. This transformation lasts for 1 minute until you die or until you revert to your normal appearance as a bonus action. When you shift, you gain +4 temporary HP and additional benefits depending on your shifter subrace.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
don't hold back. So you see her face kind of, her muzzle extends slightly and her eyes, they get a little, the irises grow a little larger, more animal-like, and her ears kind of shift up on her head so that they're pointed up more than they are pointed back.
And since you only have one actual
Oh, right,
eye
right.
and the other is the mode of fire, that flame just starts burning larger. So the fire coming from it is way more visible than it was prior.
Man, I can already see it clearly now. It's just right there. I'm like, you had to say go all out, didn't you?
Mhm.
Yep. So roll for initiative.
How far away are we from each other?
Well, your fight pit, the way that you guys had initially structured it was 25 feet across the way. So that way it was an equal opportunity fighting pit in case any halflings or dwarves wanted to get in on the action.
Fuck the halflings and dwarves, okay? Run away! Just doing laps around.
I got
I'll
a
just tie her
16.
out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, initiative. 13.
All right. Ghost, you are going first.
Are we face to face?
Yeah.
Or did we start on other ends of the?
You guys are on other ends of the fight pit, but again, he's only about 25 feet
And
away
just
from where you
before
are.
we start, I'm gonna yell out, "I'll be the gentleman and let you go first."
All right. I say okay, and I'm gonna run towards him. Well, I'll run towards him, and
On all fours, or is it? 'Cause you're
no,
in beast form. So you like?
yeah, no, it's more like an arched back situation where I'm kind of like I'm wearing my gauntlets, but my own claws would be out as well, and my feet are kind of cramped in my shoes right now. But I'm gonna get I'll get right up to him, and I will use my bonus action to mark the scent so that I know where he is
She's trying to smell me. I see
at
how
all
it is.
times. So and then I'm gonna attack him. I'm gonna do one.
You just get the biggest whiff of lavender.
Yeah, you're not hard to track anymore. So I would like to. I'll go for an attack. Oh, that's a 10.
Nope. I'm just gonna do a casual step to the side. Like, you're gonna have to try harder than that if you want to win.
Now, not to play favorites, but don't forget about your War God's Blessing as your cleric's channel divinity.
Not to play favorite.
Not to play favorites.
I don't even remember what
but
that is.
that will give you an additional +10 to an attack roll that you make.
No, I got what I wanted from this.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action for Eye for Detail, where I do a perception. Oh no, not that. Insightful Fighting, not Eye for Detail. So I need Ghost to do a deception check, and I do an insight check. Which, for me,
Make a deception check, Ghost.
dirty 20.
Come on. On 11.
Okay, so if I succeed, I can use my sneak attack against the target, even if I don't have advantage on the attack roll.
Nice.
As long as I don't have disadvantage, I get sneak attack damage for the next minute or until I use the feature against a different target or Ghost is incapacitated.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good
so-
because you can't hide from me now.
I know. That's. I took this for the fight pit. So I'm going to use my rapier because why not? And that is, oh no, yeah, that's a miss. That is a 9.
No, that does not hit.
All right. So
If that did hit, I would completely understand why you keep dying.
All right, Ghost, it is your turn.
All right, I will ignite my claws as my bonus action for this round.
Oh,
And so you said. And then I am going to, yeah, I'll do an attack since I'm right up in there. 16.
that equals my armor class.
Yes. All right. So that is
Please, little damage.
gosh, I haven't fought in so long. Okay. 8 plus my Crimson Right, which is a
D4 at this rank.
D4. Okay, 8, 9 damage.
We're just gonna smile because he hasn't been in a fight for ages. Okay. Anything else?
And yep, that's my action. Go for it.
Okay, let's use my rapier. That is an 18.
18 hits.
Okay, so this is a 1d8, which looks like I haven't got to use this guy before. What's my sneak? Where's
Sneak attack
2d6.
at 3rd level
3?
rogue.
2d6?
Christ.
Get out of the stupid little coldy, stupid dice. What do I do with my 1d8? There we go. Okay, so it is 1d8, which is a 4 plus a 4 plus a 5. So that's 13 damage.
Dang.
And then did you add your dexterity modifier to that?
Oh no, that's another 4.
Gosh.
17
Why
damage.
am I so weak?
Let me bring up this chat so I know how much health you actually have total. Oh, I almost one-shot you.
You did almost one-shot me. Thank God I had that temp HP. Christ.
And yeah, I'll just stand there and ask, "Are you all right? Do you want to stop?"
Is it my turn?
Oh, if we're going all out, can I use my potion?
Potions are a full round action.
Really? It's not just a free thing to chug a potion you have on the ready on your belt?
Yup. That is an action.
Shit.
In Critical Role, they use it as a bonus action, but that kind of breaks things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself,
Okay. To do what
which
you
isn't going to help if you hit me again, but... Ooh, that's a 4 plus 4. That's my bonus. Ooh, calm down. Critical. Nope, calm down. Heal. And then I'm going to cast... Ooh, what do I want to do? Sure, I'll cast Guiding Bolt.
You can only cast one spell a turn as long as one of them is a cantrip.
Even if it's a bonus action?
Yeah, so your bonus action, you can only cast a leveled spell. Otherwise, you'd be able to cast a cantrip, but yeah.
Okay, but I can cast a cantrip or I can't?
So you would be able to cast a cantrip, you just can't use another spell that requires a spell slot.
Okay, then I will. What's the? Hold on, sorry, two seconds. Let me read this. I don't actually. Oh, okay. So then I'm going to do an attack with my arm, my hand thing.
Okay.
That's a natural 1. Can I use my channel divinity on that?
You
Or does-
could, but yeah, I mean you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 11 plus 6, so 17. Oh my god, that's OP. I love it.
Critical fail and she still hits me?
Motherfucking war gods.
Yeah. Okay, that's 6 plus 4, so that's 10 damage.
Yep, I'm still standing.
All right. And that is my turn.
I like to think that I thought you had missed and I just stood there all cocky like, is that all you've got? And then
Yeah.
delayed reaction. Do you know when someone like gets cut and they're standing there and then the blood appears and they're like,
All right. Yep, that's my turn.
let's go big or go home, Wolf. Come on. 16?
16 hits.
Oh, yes.
Do it. Do it.
Okay, so that is a total of
Oh, got a sneak attack.
18.
Damage?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Yep, I'm down. Was it non-lethal? Well, no, we're going for. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I hit a thing. It did a thing. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
did an arrow kill you.
pass out. No, oh god, no.
Oh, whew.
No.
Oops.
Luckily it wasn't a crit.
Yeah.
Just-
Or else that would have been, all my die rolls would have been,
It would have been.
if it's just doubled, my die rolls were like
Yeah, you still wouldn't have
12
killed me.
was my die rolls.
Anyways, Ghost goes down.
Oh no. Okay, Ghost is down. Yep. I guess I'll do a medicine check to stabilize her.
Okay. Make a medicine check.
That is a 23.
Yeah. You stabilize Ghost. She is unconscious at 0.
And I'll leave a bar of soap with, on one side it's got the word wolf and 1, and on the other it's ghost and 0, just to keep track.
Okay.
Cool. So Ghost is now passed out in the fighting ring. Just wait until Kronk gets back.
Shit!
All right. And then Wolf, what is your plan? What are you doing after this?
I'll just sit down on the ground next to the dying ghost. Just make sure she doesn't die.
Okay.
And come up with a story to tell Kronk. I'm on 2 health. This is so.
Listen, if it's something I've ever learned as Hubris, you don't win when you mess with Ghost.
I don't know.
You never win.
I'm pretty certain I just did.
Yeah. So you are waiting there for roughly about an hour, and then you start hearing you hear footsteps up above you.
I feel footsteps.
Yeah,
Can't hear them.
Well,
no,
I've seen your picture. You're a little light, man.
this isn't Kronk. Like you actually hear footsteps above you.
Oh.
There are 2 sets of footsteps that just sort of seem
No
to be
idea
walking
if
around.
Ghost can hear me, but I'll be like, I'll be right back. You don't move. Stay right there. So that was an hour, you said?
Yeah, you guys had been down.
So that's a short rest, so I can use some hit die. What are my hit die? Do you know where it says that on?
Not on
D8s.
D&D Beyond.
Let me quickly find my rogue. Hit die for a rogue is a
D8.
1d8
Yep.
plus rogue level.
So
per rogue
you would
level.
get 3d8, and then you add your con modifier for each die roll.
So there's 9 and another 9. Okay, that'll put me up to 20. We're good. And I'll go up and see what's happening. But I'll be prepared. I'll be ready to attack if needed. So I guess I'll sneak,
All right, make a stealth check.
which is a 19.
Okay. So yeah, as you just stealthily climb up this ladder and pop open the trap door that leads to your fight pit, you can see the staff workers that you guys have just kind of like getting ready for their shift.
Okay, I'm just gonna lower the hatch and be like, they're good. I don't really know them yet. I met them last night, and I've just knocked out one of the people they do know. So let's just. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, you are waiting downstairs with Ghost. And it is about 30-45 minutes after that initial check that Hubris and Kronk, you guys actually make your way back to Spirits and Spirits. Ghost, roll a d4.
Got a 2.
All right, it is around this time that you are starting to come to.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Kronk's gonna kill me. Wake up.
I continue to lay there.
Okay.
Can I do a check? I don't know if she's faking or not.
Am I at 1?
Yeah, you'd be at 1 at this point. Make an insight check, and Ghost, make a deception check.
Would this be determining if someone is lying?
Yeah, that's why it's an insight check.
Yeah, no, but there's other insight checks. Like, I don't know, because I've got eye for deceit. I don't know if they need to be
I
talking.
rolled a
and lying
5,
or just-
so
Yeah, this is very
Yeah,
much
I
one of those like,
thinking
like you hear her just like.
I got a 21.
I heard Kronk come in. Did I hear Kronk come
You
in?
haven't heard Kronk come in yet.
Oh, okay.
21.
Yeah, you definitely hear Ghost stirring. Still breathing, still alive, little bloodied. But yeah, so Kronk and Hubris, this is around the time that you come in, and you see that Eliota and Klee are there, getting ready. They've begun the prep work for their actual shift.
I've been regaling.
Hi there, Mr. Hubris. And
Oh, hey.
Klee just kind of like waves at you with his big doofy grin, and you can see his tusks just kind of poking out from his teeth, or from his lower jaw.
The entire time we were walking from the market district, I've been regaling Kronk with sea shanties to try and cheer him up. Oh, Sally Brown, she's a fine young lady.
And he can't help but kind of get into it just because he's a performer and whatnot. And so he's partially cheered up by the time we get there. And just as like a single swoop natural action, when they get in, the blade just kind of disappears underneath the bar.
Okay.
His great sword, because he doesn't wear it around inside because it would scrape on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Ghost, make a perception check as you, as Kronk and Hubris enter into the bar singing sea shanties.
That's a 25.
Yeah, you definitely hear them coming in, just kind of bellowing out these sea shanties as they walk in. As well as Klee's kind of muffled, "Hello, Mr. Hubris."
I'm gonna start moaning in pain fairly loudly
Okay,
when I hear Kronk go behind the bar.
Kronk, make a perception check.
this is where your plan fails.
Oh, jeez, come on, Kronk!
Hubris, you can also make a perception check.
Likes a bit of the rumpy pumpy. Hey, hey, she roll and go.
11.
Okay.
17.
Okay, and Ghost, make a performance check as your belly aching goes to a brand new level.
Oh, come on, it's a 1.
Now, I postulate. I mean, she is wounded.
Yeah. So I would say that you'd be able,
Advantage,
I would say advantage, because you were unconscious for like 2 hours, and that's super bad for you.
That's 12.
Yeah, so Kronk, you don't hear it over the sound of your own booming voice, but Hubris, you definitely hear what sounds like a wounded ghost coming from below the floorboards.
And I pull out my gun.
I walk over and just start opening up the hatch and just.
You get the tip of the barrel points against your nose.
Oh, hey, Hubris. Ghost and I were just breaking in the fight pit.
Kronk!
And I look past him.
I'm on the ground.
Like, there's definitely, like, her otherwise pristine garb has actual, like, stab wounds in it. There's blood on her.
My cloak is also scorched and ripped. Like, come on.
That's true.
Am I aware now?
You are definitely aware now that Hubris has pulled out his gun and is pointing it at Wolf, like barrel to nose, and your two workers that are there just, so we're gonna be in the back making tonight's dinner. I hope that everything is going well.
Do that. Make dinner.
Stormtroopers, Kylo Ren. Scene.
Yep, they just pop in the back.
I lean to the side and I go, "Get ready to take out some trash."
Are we going? Do you want to fight me now, Hubris? I'm down for another fight.
Yeah, if Kronk heard Ghost at this point, I mean,
Yeah, you have definitely heard Ghost.
I just
Hubris.
throw.
I hop in.
Yeah, I throw Wolf out of the way.
Okay.
And leap
I
down.
would have hopped down if you wanted to get through.
Okay, so as I'm
Look at
coming,
the size of you. I'm not an idiot.
you get out of the way. All right.
Yeah.
I lump in, and I go over like, what happened?
She lost.
Oi, what the fuck is wrong with you two?
So Hubris, want to fight?
Kronk.
And Kronk's there
You wanna
like
defend his honor.
it's shocked. Like, what?
Is it going to make you shut up?
He
Are you gonna
fought
defend his
dirty.
honor?
He didn't follow the rules.
What? You turn into an animal and lit your hands on fire and use your gods.
What were the
Who is
rules?
Kronk gonna believe?
Yeah.
The rules were
And
anything goes, pretty much.
and there's like stabby wounds and burnt. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I'm-
Okay.
Let's let Greybeard assess this Kronk situation.
Yeah, yeah. So I was trying not to be in his head because the whole time, you guys, I'm like, I'm having ice cream. I'm having ice cream. I can't because of. Okay. So, all right. the wheels are turning. There are no obvious enemies here in Kronk's head. And then you're like, he fought dirty. You're in trouble.
Ooh, you in trouble.
Is this roll initiative time?
Yeah, you're
Let's roll initiative because I'm pretty certain, with my perception, I'm seeing a Kronk getting a bit angry.
Oh, you were. Yeah, I'm very Kronk. This dice. This
22.
I'm just gonna make my way over to Ghost and like drag her off.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm doing the whole damsel in distress bit.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna shake my head. And be like,
So Kronk, you got 3.
I'm
Wolf,
taking
you
that
got
gem
what?
back. 22.
Okay. Sounds good.
Now, big guy,
So
calm down.
in this situation,
What's that song?
I
I'll
am-
get sung.
I am going to say, for the purposes of this, Kronk, you are going to be getting a surprise round in.
Really? A surprise round where I could clearly see he's gonna come at me?
This was one of those just like, all right, hey, look here. Like, this is a whole misunderstanding. And like, you look
Okay,
over at
guys,
Ghost when
sun's
she's
going
like, he
down.
played dirty. And so when you look back, that's when Kronk is like upwards with his
He
momentum.
doesn't have his sword.
I
He put
don't.
it under the bar.
He doesn't,
He
but he
doesn't
does have his
need
ball
sword
and
to kick your
chain.
ass. Oh, he has a ball and chain too.
And 2 scimitars, and
They're all down there too.
I would have seen him go and grab one of those. He doesn't have one.
no, I was wearing my 2 scimitars and cold shoulder.
Yeah.
And
Wearing ants. Oh my fucking.
so the ball and chain is just hanging down here,
Mhm.
and the great sword is behind the bar. So you're lucky in that. But he just
I healed.
snaps. You guys, again, usually when Kronk fights, it's this elation, this joy. He's performing. It's like a dance. But this is the second time you've seen Kronk go Goliath and just
So
You
one
like-
person that hasn't hit me yet.
just be horrible. So it's one hand like on his chest. I'm just gonna blarf, grapple, and the other is coming down like bloom, bloom.
Okay.
bloom.
Yeah, if you would like to make a grapple, it is going to be your athletics versus either athletics or acrobatics from Wolf.
Oh, we're gonna go acrobatics for sure because that's +6, which puts me up to 19.
19.
All right. So that meets. So you go and you barely get him grappled.
All right, and now bonus action.
Okay.
Fist.
Yeah.
Big guy, chill, big guy.
Oh, but only a 14. You're wily.
Class 16, winning.
All right. So yeah, you dodge out of the way. Wolf, it is your turn.
Look, I don't want to have to do this, big guy, but I'm going to do my insightful fighting bonus action, so I need a deception check by you, Kronk.
Oh,
Sun's getting real low, big guy.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
have
have to
bonus.
you're gonna have to beat a 22.
I get a 4. Kronk is not capable of deceiving
Okay,
at this
so I
point.
have sneak time.
It's
I can
pretty
just see how
obvious.
you move. Here we go. I'm sorry. I can attack when I'm grappled, right?
Yeah. You just can't move.
I just can't move. I don't need to move. This is a very small area, and you're a big guy. 19.
Oh, that hits.
I'm sorry, big guy. Okay, so that was lucky for you. My D8 I rolled a 1, so there's +4 there, so there's 5 plus 7, 12 damage.
And how
Don't
do I
forget your
do
dex
this?
bonus.
What?
Don't
You
forget
did
your
it.
dexterity bonus because you said
I did. I
5
rolled a
and
1 on my 1
7.
D8.
Okay.
How do you
Yeah.
how do you do your hit points in D&D
Click
Beyond?
where it says current, and then just go down or up.
Or
Whoa.
right next to it's on the left. You can input how much damage you took and hit damage, and it'll subtract.
Oh, that's so much easier than the way I've been doing it.
So wait, huh? Sorry, one sec. Damage. Okay. And
Yeah.
how much damage was it?
12, I believe.
Yeah, you have 35 health. What is this?
Bill's got stuns endurance.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got fucking that healing shit.
And he's got second wind.
Fuck!
Don't,
I'm in trouble.
don't fight a fighter.
I didn't
1v1.
want to. I wanted to fight Hubris.
All right. Back to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Chill, big guy. The sun is going down. The sun is going down. As I'm
It's
Go
stabbing,
to sleep,
it's
go to sleep, go to
going
sleep, go to
down.
sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
never, 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 you know. Oh my god.
Ghost, what are you
He's
doing?
too ragey. I just rolled a nat 1. I literally just am smashing.
Can he punch himself in the hand or something?
I guess since I missed,
God's blessing. Okay.
I guess I'm gonna second. I'll do the action surge and let him have it a second time.
Do it.
Oh, frack me. Oh, rage is not my strong point. Okay.
Thank God you're not a barbarian.
Yes, thank. Though you guys keep pushing.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay, so I missed twice.
23. I'm rolling like a god tonight,
Yep.
and as I'm stabbing Kronk, I'm gonna look over at Ghost and yell out, "This is all you're doing. You can stop this."
Speaking of which, Hubris, what are you currently doing now that you've seen Kronk just go full Goliath mode and start attacking on Wolf, while Ghost is over there being like, he didn't fight fair.
I insight check her.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything anymore. I'm watching the fight.
Yeah, make
That
an
is a
insight
19.
check based on the initial he didn't fight fair.
That is a 19 damage wise for Kronk.
That's a 2.
Yeah. You believe her.
And Kronk flexes out and it goes, oh, and he becomes really thick to take 8 points off of it. So that's what?
You're as big as your skull.
11?
Yeah.
Okay.
19 out of a possible 24 damage.
I'm going to point my gun at Wolf. And
You're
then
next. Don't think I've forgotten about our fight. Let me deal with this guy and then we're going.
I'm going to cycle the chamber like 3 times and then point it to the scarecrow next to him and then fire an Eldritch Blast.
Say the line, Warlock. As I'm in the middle of fighting, say the line, Warlock.
Okay, and then Kronk takes his second wind.
Oh my god.
It's 8 points back.
Oh my gosh. I did 3 damage.
Fuck you, Indoor.
This is not how I imagined tonight going, but sure.
Oh, I thought it's like this is how I imagined.
No,
tonight
this
go-
is not how I imagined tonight going.
I was thinking a friendly fight between Ghost and Wolf and, everything's all good, but not. Wolf taking on the whole team.
All right, and I'm back at it. You are so lucky I haven't thought to grab a weapon.
I've changed.
Does he
I've
get any
changed now.
advantage from having him grappled, or is that just
It's just
him?
movement's reduced to
Okay,
0.
okay.
when you move them to pinned, that's when
Yeah.
you get advantage on.
All right, now we got 19
Okay, that hits.
plus, let's see, a superiority dice, shall we?
Uh-oh.
All right,
not.
and some damage that's damage is automatic. So he, with his bare fist, he does 7 points of damage, and you need to make a strength roll because Kronk just grabs your hand with your sword and rips it, like flings
What
it
do I need
across
to
the
get?
room. It's a strength check.
3?
3 is not going to
No.
It's
Shit,
like
that is my strong weapon.
8 plus your strength modifier.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. So 12 or better.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd roll a 3, and I have a +0. Strength is the only thing I don't have a plus in, so shit.
All right. So no sword now.
I've still got my dagger attached to my wrist. Let's go. I'll just start stabbing.
Yep. All right. And you, what was it? 7 damage?
So the maneuver
Yeah,
save
so-
DC is 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength.
Okay. So it would be 14.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, it's higher than a 3. Okay, my turn.
I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Kronk.
What? I thought it was. Who's fighting dirty now?
Of course I'm fighting dirty. I'm having him fight my battle. This is the whole thing. You get +5.
All right.
Kronk, is this very honorable fight? How you're getting healed and I'm not?
Oh, he can't see at this point. It's that from Borderlands 1 brick. It's just everything's red. All he's got you held down and he's just smashing you into the earth. So, okay.
I kind of roll to make a check of how Wolf would react, because this is like the day after I've come back, right?
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how you guys think about me. And after this, Wolf's gone from a simple.
Wait until the fight's over, dude.
No. Wolf's attitude's gone from a simple calm down big guy to
This is a prison
fuck
fight.
it.
It's a prison fight.
You're a booty warrior.
If you don't kill me, Kronk, I'm getting rid of Liv when I'm done here. If I get out, Liv's gone.
Oh no, that's the worst thing you could say.
Oh my God.
No, I knew that would hurt him the most.
That would make him more angry. That doesn't hurt him at all.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
We'll go into a blind rage and not think properly. Let's just.
Oh my God. Okay. Is it back to me?
No,
Oh, okay.
that is a 20.
Hits.
Antagonizing is a free action.
Now I need to get my dangerous D4 die out because I've only got fucking daggers right now because some dude just threw my sword away. Okay, so that is 13 points of damage.
Okay.
And for my bonus action, I just want to continue antagonizing him.
Steven,
Yes?
do I have access to my pack boon spells yet?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Really? Does everyone want to attack me at once? Do I need to take all 3 of you guys on? Because I will
if-
kill you all.
If Hubris goes to make another shot with his gun, she's gonna stop him. She's getting her point across.
I've changed. I tried changing for these guys and
Just lost my character sheet with a misclick there. Okay, I'm back. Okay, we're at me,
Yeah.
and
yep.
you just threatened Liff now.
Yeah, I said I'm going to get rid of him if you don't kill me in
Um,
this fight.
okay, I have to. Cold shoulder comes out. 22.
That hits. Hit me again when I'm down. I dare you.
Well, so with the superiority dice and the damage from the axe and my strength bonus, let's see, that's 15, 16, 17, 18 points of damage, and I somehow I used superiority dice, so again, I disarm you, so I take one of your daggers or whatever and
Hold on.
fling it away.
I need a strength check to see if you get my dagger.
Okay, all right, you try.
You passed out. What are you talking about?
So this is just to see if in this death grip, just like the gnome that it seems almost forgotten about now, that had died on the street earlier in the day. Let's see how well Wolf holds onto this dagger.
I don't hold on to it, but as he goes to hit me, I just want to say, is that all you got? As I pass out.
All right, so
I'm gonna quickly walk up behind Kronk and put the barrel of my gun to his back.
No.
Wolf, I have a question. What is your overall HP?
Total,
Yes. What is your HP total?
Whoa.
my max HP, or what I had at that point.
For what max HP, just in general, what is your max
21.
HP? 21. So, I would say that this is a grievous wound. So, Kronk, how would you like to deal a grievous wound to Wolf? As you know that the only other weapon that he has is currently attached to his wrist on his hand.
I know, and I'm using it.
You're using a cleaver.
Oh, it
The only
hurts.
way you can disarm me, unless you cut just the bracelet.
Oh. Yeah, I got to. I can't. You did it, buddy. You. Oh my God.
I didn't do it.
You
The
threatened
ghost
to
did it by saying that I fought dirty, and
I'm
then
saying in Kronk's head, you just. So yeah, I'm taking. I'm removing the dagger.
Oh,
So, Wolf, are you right or left-handed?
the dagger's on my left hand because I use my right hand for my rapier.
Your left hand has been removed.
There's a player. I heard.
So, Ghost and
Well, knocked
Hubris,
out. Am I? Do I feel this? Am I screaming out in pain?
that is the last thing that you feel is the amount of pain coming down onto your arm, and you feel the blade sink about halfway into your arm before you pass out from pain. But Hubris and Ghost, you see Kronk just take off Wolf's hand.
I'm moving forward. I'm putting the gun barrel to his back. Kronk!
Ghost gets up and goes over to the situation and tries to handle it. Oh, that was so bad.
Does Ghost physically get in the way?
Yes,
at this
yes.
point? Oh, dude. Okay.
So you're not going to swing at me again?
Fuck no.
Swing at me again, Mark.
She steps in the way, and I've got the hatchet, and it just stops. It's like this, and so I take the body and a blur.
I'm gonna blast him in the back.
All right.
You're hitting who? Me?
I'm
you keep
blasting
hitting me?
Kronk in the back.
Wait, what is
I start bouncing his body off the ground.
Oh
because-
shit!
Yeah. Okay.
So a death saving throw?
So
Jesus!
when you take damage, when you are unconscious, that is two
It's two.
automatic failed death saving throws.
Oh my gosh.
Kronk!
Okay.
So,
Can't.
I know.
So, for this, Hubris and Ghost roll into the initiative order, as Wolf has his initiative set at 22.
20.
Luckily, we got that
21.
scroll.
21?
Yes.
Okay, so as you guys go to move, Wolf, make a death saving throw.
Oh my god. Good thing we have that
I mean,
fucking.
but I don't get to bounce him off the floor until my turn, though, right?
You're
As
still going with
your
your bonus
action? Because
is
you
that
can make an
second
unarmed
attack?
attack.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Because
got
I
a 7.
stopped the hatchet attack, like
Yeah.
I said, and because
Wouldn't
Ghost
that-
is in the way.
I failed. It's a 7.
Oh, I know that's it. That's the wrong dice.
So yeah, as you guys go to stop Wolf, you
Stop.
or to go and stop Kronk from doing this, you do manage to get Kronk to stop. But as you look down, you notice that there is way more blood coming out of Wolf's arm than you know can feasibly stop it. The amount of damage that he has taken from your Goliath fighter is a little bit more grievous than you had anticipated. And as you finally do calm down Kronk, and it does take a while, Hubris, yes.
I had said I blasted Kronk.
Yep, make an attack roll.
Play the character dead. Play the character dead.
Oh, hey, that's a 21.
It's
That. Oh, buddy. 14. A force.
fortunately, That's enough. Blam! And Kronk goes down.
Yeah, so Kronk falls
And
down
it's a magic attack
unconscious.
too, so it can't be just knocked out.
Yep. So then,
Fuck!
Ghost, it is your turn. You see that Kronk is currently unconscious on the ground. Wolf he's not breathing anymore. His hand has been removed from his body.
Well, this is not how I thought this was gonna go.
Now you can just smell lavender and death. Do I get to meet her god?
I'm just hold on.
We'll finish it early tonight.
I'm going to tell Hubris to stabilize Kronk. And I'm going to
He's
pull
not
out
good
the
with
scroll.
Fuck you, Barry. I put my hand on his chest and cast Spare the Dying
What?
On
Thank
who?
you, Barry.
on Kronk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start casting Raise Dead.
Wait, is he actually dead?
He's
Yeah,
actually
I'm dead,
right?
Ooh, fuck
Yeah.
dead.
So
I'm dead.
as you go and you begin looking at the scroll to try and cast it,
Fuck off.
you look at the top line of the scroll and you see that there is a material component that is necessary, which is a diamond worth 500 gold pieces.
Shit.
4 gems worth 400. I gave the 5th one away.
It
Yeah.
needs to be a diamond.
I know,
yeah.
but we could have exchanged it for one, but I gave away 100 gold.
Didn't they give him a diamond to go with the scroll, though? Oh, damn. Oh, my God.
Shit. Ghost kind of like read it and I'm just like, fuck.
What?
Shit.
What?
I need a gold worth I need a diamond worth 500 gold.
Did it not come with one?
No, I don't. No. We need this now. Well, I mean, technically, we need it within 10 days.
What the fuck?
This is not how I imagined that going.
What do you mean?
We have other things to handle right now.
No. What do you mean this isn't how you imagined it going?
He challenged me to a fight. He said, anything goes. So anything goes. I tagged in Kronk.
Hubris walks past Ghost and goes upstairs.
Ghost is going to check on Kronk, and I'm gonna use a. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. I'm gonna cast just a Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
And then that's 6 health back to Kronk.
Okay.
And when he wakes up, I'm gonna tell him to go upstairs. And then I'm going to start praying.
Okay.
Okay. So Kronk comes to, and he's like, Why did Barry attack you? Wolf attack you.
I don't want to talk about it right now. Go upstairs. Kronk.
The rumble comes like from inside,
Mm-hmm.
and he's shaking. He's physically shaking, and you could tell that it's one of those foot stomp moments
Mm-hmm.
where he just wants to liquefy Wolf,
Mm-hmm.
but he does go upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Hubris, as you exit and come back upstairs, Clay kind of pops his head out from behind the kitchen. Just, everything okay down there, Mr. Hubris? And you see that Eliota kind of like pokes her head out from like underneath Klee as well, and just, you'll make a lot of ruckus. Is everything all right?
It's peachy. And he goes behind the counter, pulls out a bottle of whiskey, just straight from the bottle.
They both just kind of, okay, well, if you need anything else, we'll be here. And they just slide back into the kitchen. And that's about the time, Hubris, after you've taken several large swigs from the bottle, that Kronk ends up coming up as well.
I just shove the whiskey into his chest.
Oh, dudes, my stomach is upset. I feel sick as a player. As a player.
Wolf's fine. He's been in worse situations before.
But I guess Kronk would take the bottle and, I mean, it's nothing size-wise to Kronk, so he just sort of tips it. And if it's more than a glug, 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 about 3 glugs, then he gives it back to you.
No, I'll be back.
Okay.
I don't think you're making any deals with the Gentile.
So,
that never ends
Barry,
well.
I would like to point out, Wolf is currently deceased. So let the other players make their own poor decisions if they so decide to do them. So, Hubris, what are you currently doing?
I'm gonna go find me a half-orc hobo.
Okay. Yep. So make a investigation check.
Dice. Sorry. Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah. So it takes you the better part of about a half hour to actually find old Nubtooth, your Zentarum contact. And you just see him panhandling like he normally is, and as you come up to him, he kind of like straightens himself out a little bit and just, hey there, how's it going?
I flick a gold into his tin. I need a fence.
Well, we can get you a picket fence, we can get you a wood fence, we can get you a metal fence. What kind of fence are you looking for? What kind of fence are you looking for, buddy?
And he just kind of shakes.
I'm looking to offload my goods on a fence, if you know what I mean.
He just sort of nods.
What kind of goods are you looking to offload?
He's gonna pull out, reaches into his back pocket and kind of flashes the amulet.
I can see about getting rid of that for you. What are you looking to find? Looking for
diamond worth 500. How long is it gonna take?
Well, if it's just a diamond for that there pretty necklace, I can get that to you by the end of the day.
Make it 6 hours and you got another gold piece your way?
Gold piece first, 6 hours later.
Ting.
He catches it really quick, and then he'll take your necklace from you, and then you just see him stand up to his full height, which is about 6'5", and then you just see him take off running.
Fuck. That's how that scene ends.
Okay. So, Ghost, you are currently making your religion check.
Yes, I am. Me. So 18.
Okay. So yeah, you begin your prayer. What is it that you are currently trying to pray for?
I am I guess would I know that I could ask for a thing, or would I like be doing a general prayer?
You know that prayers to Asuran don't necessarily involve a physical thing. They're usually more about determining your like being able to have this kind of like, okay, I wish to be able to find the person that I am hunting. I wish to be able to seek out a proper form of justice for this wrong that was given upon me. And it's not necessarily for a material thing as it is for a like metaphysical kind of thing.
Okay. I am going to pray that the wrongs that were done to him were not proportionate to the wrongs that he had done. In the sense that he knocked me unconscious and now he's dead. And without a hand. I'm aware that I will be able to raise him from the dead, but I want to be able to give him his hand back.
Okay. So, you know that part of the overall prayer process for Asuran involves a mark of permanence. The more permanent a marking is, the more power that the prayer has. So what are you doing to evoke this level of permanence in the hopes that it might be strong enough to bring back somebody, or at least to be able to reattach a hand?
I'm going to take off my left gauntlet and I'm going to slice it as deeply as I can on the back.
Okay.
Right above the wrist here.
Okay. So yeah, you are just carving this prayer into your arm. And what did you get for your religion check?
18.
Okay. Yeah, so you spend the next about the next 15 minutes or so just digging through your own skin, writing this out. And as you do, just blood is free flowing from your arm, which is, you are already feeling very lightheaded from having been passed out for so long, but this was a joke that went a little bit too far from your standpoint. And so you, with this current blood coming from your arm, you kind of take some of that blood and then spread it on the stump that Wolf has over his left arm, and then spread it on the stump kind of coming from the other side. And you can see that your blood is kind of intermixing as Wolf's has started to, is very much beginning to coagulate. It is still flowing pretty freely. There is actually a pretty sizable pool of blood that is just sort of spilled out onto this stone floor surrounding you guys. But as you make your prayer, you feel like your prayer, like it has been received, but it's currently on the seen at screen, and you aren't necessarily sure when you are going to be getting a response.
Okay. When that is done, I'm going to do what I can to stop the bleeding. Like stop it from free flowing, I guess.
Yeah. So
unless I think that it's helping in some way.
It's yes and no. As the blood of your prayer is kind of, the blood of your prayer is actually kind of seeping into the stone with the rest of the blood, as it is kind of just finding the pores in the rock. So you feel like it in a way is actually kind of helping.
Okay.
And then Kronk, what are you doing in this moment as Hubris has kind of stormed out, saying that he was going to look for You said that you were just going to be back, Hubris? Yeah. So, Kronk, you have been left alone in this bar with a bottle of whiskey where you know that one of your friends is currently deceased beneath the trap door of the bar, while the other is doing something, and Hubris is left, and you are just kind of standing alone in the center of this large place. As you can just hear the sounds of like, it's very quiet in the kitchen. You can hear the sounds of like food prep going, but they're not being the same jovial group that they have been previously.
Kronk goes upstairs to the bedroom, and it's rough for him because he just wants to curl up in a ball in the fighting pit, and at this point he does not feel any remorse about killing Wolf. I mean, he literally, it's hard for him not to stomp back down in there and just, turn Wolf to paste.
Pound his chest in like you did that that drow gunslinger.
Just put my 22 size foot and just smash him. Because I don't know. I just don't know. So I guess Kronk goes upstairs to the bedroom and he feels really weird. So he like lays under the windowsill and is just kind of like, like, why did they stop me from mashing him to a pulp? What is going on? He's just confused.
Yeah.
And so maybe he finishes the bottle of whiskey.
Okay. Sounds good. So that is what you were doing. Ghost, you are still... Your 15 minutes has gone by. Are you just staying down below?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then Hubris, are you making your way back to Spirits and Spirits, or do you have any other destination that you would like to go to?
He's literally gonna wait there for 6 hours.
Okay. Yeah, so 6 hours goes by for the lot of you. And as you are waiting there, you see eventually just this kind of like beraggled looking half-orc come up to you, Hubris. And when he does, he says, I got that thing that you were looking for, boss. And he kind of like brings up his cloak a little bit and he just hands you this large diamond.
I'm just gonna swipe it underneath my coat, turn, just walk away.
Okay. Yeah, so you begin walking back to Spirits and Spirits. And by this time, it is actually a very lively bar, as that is what you guys have kind of presented it to be on the outside as your initial goal. Not Doug is playing as they normally are, just very lively tunes, and you can hear what sounds like just a very raucous time. There are people laughing, there are people kind of just like cheering and enjoying the drinks that seem to be free flowing that evening.
He's gonna stone face, walk towards like where the fight pit is, open the latch, and then head down.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, you head down. So Hubris, it is you and Ghost. And Ghost, you have not moved from this place in the last 6 hours?
No, but you can definitely tell that there have been tears coming down my face. And I have not wiped them up.
Yeah, the tears have kind of like matted into your fur a little bit, like when you get those like the sleepy time crusties kind of thing, but like it is just kind of streaming down her face. That just sort of seems to be this matted kind of texture.
Silently hands over the diamond, turns, and then walks back out.
And then as soon as I have it, I'm going to start casting it.
Alrighty, so let us see. Because this spell is a higher level than you would normally be able to cast. So, casting a spell for spell scrolls. Let us see. Why do they never talk about spell scrolls? So, actually, because this is a raise dead spell.
If the spell is on your class spell list, but a higher level than you can normally cast, you must make an ability check using your spellcasting ability to determine whether you cast it successfully. The DC equals 10 plus spell's level. On a failed check, the spell disappears from the scroll with no other effect.
And the material component would be consumed during the casting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ghost. Hubris has shoved this diamond into your hand and then walked away. So this is going to be...
Can't even hear me. It's
Yep.
a 15
Yep.
check.
This is a 15 check in order to be able to use the scroll. And since you have performed a prayer, I will say that you are going to be making this with advantage.
I so don't want to do this. This is the worst roll I've had to make. I got a 14
With advantage?
with advantage. I had rolled an 11 and a 13, and I have a +1 to religion. Oh, wisdom check.
Yes, this is
Right?
this is your spell casting modifier.
It's a 17.
Okay.
Yes! Oh my god. Oh, I was gonna cry.
Okay.
Oh.
So, it is an hour-long casting time to be able to cast Raise Dead. And as you do, you have kind of like put his left hand back against his arm. You have recarved in your own incantation into your arm as you cast it, kind of mixing your blood as part of the casting component onto Wolf's arm. And as you cast this spell, you see the diamond that you had placed on Wolf's chest just begin to glow and then sink in. As the spell scroll, you see that the lettering begins to glow with this very very light blue kind of flaming color that you would know as the same color as your eyes, the same color as your flame powers. And as the lettering begins to glow, it comes off of the page and creates a circle around Wolf as this gem, this diamond begins to just radiate color and radiate warmth. And eventually you hear what sounds like glass just straining against itself before it shatters, turning to dust as it spreads across his body and sinks in deeper into him. And as the spell finishes, as the lights fade, as the only thing left in this fighting arena is just your solid glowing blue mote of fire for your eye, it is silent. And that is when you hear as life comes back into Wolf. And that is where we are going to end it for tonight's session. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who decided to stick with us through this amazing session in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Seriously, I did not plan on any of this happening tonight. I had a plan, but as all DMs know, fuck my plan. You guys do your own thing. That's great.
Remember when we were going to move forward in the story?
Yeah.
So,
I just did a Jon Snow.
for sake of Cyberwolf, I have to say, what the fuck, Indoor?
Yes.
Well,
So
technically, it wasn't Indoor's fault.
yes.
It was,
Also,
Oh,
I wanted to say, even though it was during a very tense scene, we ended up getting 2 new followers. So thank you to Agent for Anarchy and Tavern Sparrow for joining in on the follows. So, Greybeard.
All right, when somebody becomes a new follower, I take this mallet and I hit that guy in the face. And 1 for you, Sparrow.
Yeah! And we got those followers during a very, very intense scene, so I wanted to wait until the end of all of that to really address those. So thank you to the new followers. Thank you to everybody who has stuck with us so far. Let us go through some sign-offs. So, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. You can find me at RJustice22 on Twitter and Twitch. And on the Monday show as our lovely, lovely wise boy, Caleb, who doesn't want to kill his friends, right?
All right. And Greybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Greybeard of Greybeards Tavern, and you can find me Sunday mornings where I play Darkest Dungeon, and, you know, we're chuck full of props and, you know, all kinds of good fun stuff to play with. And other than that, I'm here.
Alrighty. LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
LB, who's the worst player in the world. Mondays and Tuesdays here. I have a Twitter. Yep.
All right. And Barry, where can we find you? What do you do?
I get killed by my party, betrayed by my party, and then potentially resurrected by my party, which don't I have to be willing to come back?
Were you a willing candidate?
I'm not sure, because the last thing going through Wolf's mind was everyone hates me, / it seems a bit poetic that the same accident that killed my sister happened the day I get killed.
Doesn't mean you can't come back. Besides,
I know.
in this case, what we will do is that I have a scene prepared for you for next week. So don't worry
Is it
about
me
that.
sitting in a train station and Dumbledore comes up?
Yeah. You'll be naked for some weird reason that the author will never explain, but it'll be there.
Hey, man. But yeah, not this weekend, but next weekend, you can find me on Natural Ruckus's channel for another Extra Life 24-hour charity event, where I am in one section that's, I think, based off Tom Cruise movies. And then the next morning, I take that character into a battle royale, which is run by Scradicus, which is going to be amazing.
Nice.
Where I get to kill party members willingly. Cheers, Ghost. Best friend.
This is where Hubris just wants Ghost to like revive you just so he can kill you himself.
Guess what, buddy?
Gonna
Ghost
race.
has shown feelings over Wolf more than she's shown feelings over you, so
We'll figure it out in the after.
even if it was tears. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Apart from that, I'm here Tuesdays and in your Discord a lot.
Yeah.
Generally talking to myself because you guys are all asleep.
Yes, and if you guys are interested in hopping into our Discord, we have multiple ways that you can do that. You can either subscribe to the Twitch channel, or you can go onto the Patreon. And if you sign up with the Patreon, it's actually cheaper than going through Twitch, and you get a lot of added bonuses, including access to an after show, as well as the ability to ask us questions directly that we will then answer for the after show. So, if you are interested in what we do here, or this is your first time stopping by and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? You can find us on YouTube, where we post all the VODs to youtube.com/The Indoor Adventurer, or you can find us here Monday and Tuesday playing a variety of games. So, if you are interested in that, feel free. We also, like I have said at the beginning of this show, we have a giveaway going on. So if you're interested in the giveaway, I have posted a link in the chat, and we will address that later. But that is all that we have for now. So we will see you guys next week. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.